new gaskets. They're copper gaskets that go behind the header, in between the header and the cylinder head there. So today we'll be swapping those out. Hopefully that will fix our exhaust leak problem that you heard in the previous video. Also, I took off the carburetors, and there was actually some dirty fuel going through there still. I suspect that actually came from the fuel pump itself. The fuel pump was never cleaned out, so I'm sure that was pretty gummy with old fuel, and just supplied that gummy fuel to the carbs, and it actually clogged the idle jets. So I had to pull those out and clean them out again. So now the carbs are all back together and clean once more. And the gas tank, I drained all the fuel, and let's show what that looks like. No, that is not pee. That is actual fuel. You can see, like, the fuel should actually be clear. And yeah, it looks pretty nasty, pretty cloudy, and there was some stuff floating around in there too. That was probably not good. And so I got fresh fuel. I'm gonna dump that into the gas tank once I get everything back together, and we will be sinking the carburetors. So yeah. All right, for those of you who want to do the same thing, replacing the gaskets on here, you do have to move the radiator out of the way just a little bit. So there's a little mounting bolt there, and once you remove that, you can slide it down, and on the other side, it just mounts on a little post. You just push it out a little bit and it will drop right off, and the radiator will move forward just enough for you to be able to slide the header off once you remove the nuts. So that's our next step. All right, now we've removed that bolt there that holds on the hanger for the header, as well as for the muffler. So this is able to move around now, and so that means we can now move the header out. Look at that. Not so bad. So just be careful not to drop your muffler and damage it like I'm about to do. So I'm gonna put the camera down so I can prevent that from happening. All right, so yeah, just disconnected the muffler. 3 bolts, 12mm socket size, and it pops right off. Better than banging up your muffler. Plus it's just a lot less weight for the header to move around now, so it'll be easier to move it around when you want to slide it off here. So looks like we're still hitting on the radiator just slightly, but this does kind of move slightly out the way. Thing is, this is the California header, so yours probably will not look like this. This has these little heat shields here that are welded on from factory, and also these tend to come out more, the runners, compared to the 49 state model. They drop down sooner, so there's more clearance for the 49 state models. So but I'll be able to get it out of there one way or another. And while you got the header off the bike, it's pretty easy just to drop it off out of the bike once it's loose, and I'd recommend inspecting it, because sometimes you might throw some new gaskets in there and the leak's still there. Well, I'll show you why. So this header looks pretty good on this side, and there you have it. Look at this. So from the factory, they weld on this little mount on here, this threaded mount, so it can hold on the heat shield. And what's happened is that with all that heat, that weld failed, and it broke right off, just creating a big old hole. And yeah, that's not going to be very good for performance right there. So that's a Honda fail right there. So what I'll do is I will clean this up, use a wire brush and get all the rust and contaminants and get all clean, and weld this back on and see if I can also weld it from the inside too, just to give it a little bit more sealing there so it doesn't hopefully happen again. So that's the next step. Okay, well, guess what? Change of plans. So the old header, with that chunk broken off, I decided to replace it, because since this is the California model, which has these little heat shields, it's a little bit different compared to the 49 state header. So I always had plans on swapping it out, so this has kind of accelerated the process. So yeah, because once you weld a crack like that, or a hole that's that close to the exit of the head, there's a lot of heat that builds up there, and so it's pretty much gonna crack. Sooner or later it will start leaking again, so forget that. I don't want to do the job again, so went ahead and got another header off a 93 from eBay. This one needed a little bit of cleaning up, and so I cleaned it up a little bit, but it's pretty good condition, and I also gave it a fresh coat of exhaust paint. So it's nice and black again, and so this finish, it resists heat, I believe, up to about 2,000 degrees. So plenty good enough, and it looks like OEM, so I like it. So this will be going on, and that will solve our issue with the hole in the header tube. Alright, it's about 25 minutes later. I got the exhaust back on, obviously stock muffler, and the new header went on no problem, and gaskets are sealed. The nuts are torqued properly. So next step is we want to start it up again and sync these carburetors. So got it running, and it's smooth and it's quiet. All right, well, progress, right? And look, no noise, or not look, but listen, no noise. So that was my assumption, is that the when you have an out of balance engine, whether it be for the carburetors or the exhaust leak, it can actually cause the air imbalance in one cylinder, which can result in each cylinder kind of fighting each other, which can cause some rattle in the clutch area. So now that the exhaust leak is gone and the carburetors are all cleaned out, it's no more noise. Look, pull the clutch in, same thing, rev it up, no more noise. So hallelujah. It is smoking a little bit, and I'm assuming because this is probably the first time it's really ran properly in, again, 17 years. So it's probably going to be burning off a bunch of crud inside the cylinders and the valves and whatnot, and inside the exhaust as well. So hopefully that clears up. If not, then we'll have to investigate why it's still smoking. So yeah, we'll see. And as it's warming up, it'll get a little bit hotter, and then we can sync the carburetors. So as they are right now, they're not too far off, but as they warm up, they're going to change a little bit more. We're going to turn down the idle a little bit. It's idling a little bit high. Idle should be around 1100
RPM, plus or minus 100. So I try to get it where it should be. It sounds about right there. All right. And we're still smoking, burning off the old crud. Hopefully, cross fingers. It's not a oil control ring problem or something like that on one of the cylinders. That would be bad. All right. I got my makeshift ladder here doing its job. Making this a lot easier to do. So you don't have to put the fuel tank on you. You can see now it's warming up a little bit more. Cylinder 3 and 4 are pulling a little bit more vacuum than with 1 and 2. So, yeah, we're going to have to even out just a little bit. So let's get the screwdriver. This place is a mess right now because I've been wrenching on this thing. It's a disaster zone. So excuse the mess. All right, so temperature, I think we're good to go now. And I think that's pretty much evened out as far as the vacuum goes. So number 3 is the base carburetor. So yeah, we need to adjust the other carbs. All right, got the carb synced. Pretty much spot on all 4. Happy with that. Temperature is a little high, but the fan's going on, but much more responsive, so no more clutch rattle. This thing is running smooth now, so very happy about that. All right. Sorry I didn't show the carb adjustment process, but it's a little difficult to do while holding the phone, but essentially, so carb number 1, you have the adjustment screw down there, and when you turn it in and out, it will draw more vacuum or less vacuum. And basically, it's the same thing for 1, 2, and 4. So carb number 3 is the base carb, so you can't adjust that one. So basically, whatever number 3 is, you're going to set carb 1, 2, and 4 to match number 3. Again, you can't really see what's going on in there, but trust me, there's screws in there, and that goes for each carburetor. So, job done on that. Alrighty, got all the body work back on, the fairings, if you will. Let's give the bike a little wipe down as it's dusty from sitting so long. And yeah, looks like we're ready to start this thing up. I forgot to dust off the seat. Yeah, well, I'll do that later. My OCD will kill me if I don't. Alright, I put fresh fuel in the tank, and let's see how it runs. Start it right up, smooth idle, right where it should be, 1100. No clutch noise. Perfect. No smoke. What do you think, guys? I think it's ready to ride. Good little whirl. It's been fun getting this little guy back on the road. Well, I said a little guy compared to today's bikes. I guess it is a little, but little 900. But yeah, we'll do a little test ride and see how it goes. Well, just took it for a test ride, and runs great. Really strong. Motor feels perfect. Carburetors seem like they're really adjusted well. Brakes feel good. Still need to get new tires and a new chain, but other than that, it's ready for the road. I love this thing. So next episode, we want to focus on getting new tires on it and getting a new chain, and maybe working out anything that I haven't found yet. Sometimes when you ride a bike for a while, things pop up that you go, "Oh, I didn't know that was bad or needed fixing." So I have a feeling I'll probably have to do fork seals on the bike because I don't think they've ever been done. And being that it's 27 years old, it'll probably need it. So I'll look for any oil weeping at the forks, but not a big deal if I have to do it. And I still got to do I got to recover the main seat on the bike. Other than that, yeah, it's looking great, and I'm very happy with the progress so far on the bike. And and I'll get a video of an actual ride. So next episode, take a look for that, and hopefully we'll get some good footage. I'm not sure how good the microphone is on my camera. I'll mount it to my helmet, but anyway, stay tuned for that. And thanks for watching.